Mm. You know, I stay on some fat girl stuff. I got these boiled peanuts. Lord have mercy. I don't think I've ever, never, ever, ever, never, ever steered anybody wrong when I tell you guys how to be a fat girl, where to get the good drinks, the good groceries. I ain't steered nobody. I've had people come all up on my live back in the day saying, Miss Angie, you said hit this in, baby. It was hitting. Remember the guys who said back in the day? Listen, let me download my thoughts right now, honey, because I'm delirious. I'm so damn sleepy. Um, I posted about that outfit that Clarissa had on, and another YouTuber I listened to was talking about that same outfit. It's a guy, and he's a straight guy. Child, uh-uh. She need a stylist, or she needs to fire her stylist, because this is crazy, right? Uh-uh. Child, this don't be looking right. I don't know. Um, that video I just shared, you saw Dion in his aviators. Child, Open had called me one day. Oh, hit me up one of the two. When I was telling y'all that I wanted a particular uh, type of glasses, right? I wanted another one of these aviators, but I posted the ones, something the ones I wanted, but I don't think nobody ever figured out why I said I couldn't buy the ones that I posted. One, because they weren't designer. That's why I could buy them. They were exact style, the look and everything. Just one problem. They weren't designed. I mean, they were made by nobody. I think those glasses were like $3 or $4. They were cute though. They were cute, and I'm not above, you know, having them. But I just wouldn't, because one, I know the ones I want. There's two sunglasses that I currently want, and I just need to, go ahead and get them. I want a pair of Louis sunglasses because I don't have a pair of Louis. But the one that I be seeing, I don't like the monograms, them like right in the middle of my forehead. I don't like that, you know. So I need to really sit down. So I want, if I search for a pair of Louis, that would be like three sunglasses. I wouldn't know what particular design I would like, but I haven't seen a Louis design that I do like. So, but I need to add um, a pair of Louis to the line collection, right? But there are two other glasses that I want. Yeah, these are pretty penny, baby. Together, they'll be probably around 14 or $1,500. The two of them. If I add a Louis pair, Louis can range probably up to about 900. So, child, I got time. It ain't pressing, right? Uh, what I like to do is I like to add like a whole bunch of, some jobs or whatever. And instead of spending the money that I already have. I'll just go take on another 2 or 3 jobs and buy up all the stuff I want, and and also save money from doing that, right? But your girl been lazy. Your girl been just doing one job and getting there late. Shit, I'm tired. She'll be all right. But anyway, um, and looking at the have and have-nots, child. So I realized that I ended it off probably on season 5. I think it was season 5, but I just jumped to midway season 6 because at this moment, I think all the characters are still alive. So I want to know what happened to, all of them. So I guess I got about 2.5, a little less than 2.5 more seasons to go. Just have-nots. I've been meaning to get back to this for years, but I haven't had a chance, child. Candace, and I know this is a show, but this kind of happens in real life. Like men who, are okay in life, right? Their resume is tight. They're making good money or whatever. They've done a lot. When they get to a certain age or a certain status, they like, um, fun women. They don't like no boring ass woman, right? They may have been that way their whole life, but definitely when they get that age and status, they like fun women. Because at this point, shit, who cares what anybody else think about the person they're with, right? And I, remembering that Candace Honey, she had all the little high-powered men at her beck and call, honey. Sure did. Because, Candace wasn't born. And Shannon Sharp. And I may be wrong, but that call of that girl put out when he said, you're going to make me beat your ass, choke the shit out you, something like that. And she's like, no, I don't want to be choked. That kind of sounds like that role-playing, submissive act on her part. Because listen. That's how it goes. Some of the times. Probably, now I ain't going to say sometimes, more than half of the time. That's how it sometimes goes. Like, no, don't do that. You gonna make me do this to you. Yeah, that's how it goes. Just sometimes out of nowhere sometimes. Sometimes the role play, you create an issue in order to act it out. So we don't know all of, what was going on that call. And I could be wrong. It could be a very real threat. But it sounds like it was a role play. Because you get into that submissive role, like, no, because that's what they want to have the appearance that they're violating you without violating you. And you need to make it as real as possible. And sometimes when you're on the phone, it kind of gets you worked up. And then when they get to the house, they, you kind of, act it all out. This is where it gets a little rough. And I said, and everybody knows this, but the choking, you're supposed to choke right when you are about to, climax because it intensifies it, right? But for those who don't trust nobody, choking them, you can just hold your breath. And it's the same thing without the physicality, you know what I'm saying? But it's the same thing. So, but yeah, so it sounded like that girl, they was doing some of that, they was getting it geared up, you know. But, and I could be very wrong because he does, try to come across as the victim. Yeah, you just, I guess you're gonna be a bitch to me now, and yeah, so, but I could be wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised they don't write that off as role play, honey. And they can come up with, I'm sure, hundreds, if not thousands, of examples of the role playing from the phone sounding just like that, or even worse. Some of them actually say, I'm gonna do all of this and that, to you. And it's just a part of the role play. Like, mm but I do find it suspicious if Tony Busby is telling the truth that Shannon tried to give her $10 million. What I think is they look at those elements. The Shannon attorney probably said, if she can, or if she brought some of the evidence to the table, he probably looked at them elements and said, you should make this thing go away. With $10 million. And why would she turn down $10 million? So I don't know if this is the truth or not, because I mean, shit, if I can get $10 million, I'm getting them up out of there. Like, come on now. I mean, think about it. Is what she said she went through more damaging than what Cassie went through? No, and when I mean damaging, I'm talking about in the sense of damages, because that's what civil complaints pay out, damages. Meaning, does it sound like it's worth? Cassie allegedly got $30 million. She's trying to get $50 million. It sounds like maybe $1 million of trouble, inconvenience to if you ask me. But you didn't. So, these peanuts still frozen. So, I don't know. That's why, we don't have to see that play out. Now, I don't know if Shannon has spoken out about the about that call. I know. I don't know if he said what the call was actually. If he addressed it like that was this and that was that. I don't know. Can't believe Carla Red is going through what she's going through. And she married that dude that's over there, the owner of Zeus. Now that's TV, I'm sorry. And he made that situation all the way messy, right? You got Big Lex, right? The one from Jocelyn's Cabaret. who Jocelyn beat the hell out of in the um, like backstage of that, I think Floyd Mayweather Gotti fight. They say he allegedly was messing with her. He was also allegedly messing with another girl on her show. He also got T. Woods pregnant. That was on a show on his network as well with Jessica Dime. And you know Jessica Dime is married to Sean Williams, who used to play for the Pistons or some other NBA team, right? And I shared with y'all the big old situation with that, how she separated from Now That's TV, and who else? And he brought Carly in to do one of his shows, like to settle the difference between Ivory and Big Liddy, right? So on one of the later shows on Now That's TV, Big Lex was on there. Big Lex was kind of, in a demoted role, right? She wasn't really a host. Nicole from that family, that drug family, whatever, that's on Netflix. Nicole would seem like she was the host, if you ask me. Knowing how these things work now behind the scenes, but I think if Nicole wasn't the host, nobody was. But anyway, Lex act is if she was miserable because she had been demoted, and people was pointing out like, girl, you like on the same level as I am. You're giving cast like I am, right? I'm a cast member, you're a cast member, right? So at that combined reunion, the 4 shows, Lex up there trying to, let's wrap it up. Let's, giving the final word. And they had 2 complete hosts who were men. She's like trying to tell people what to do or whatever. I don't know if it was true that she done jumped up and down on it, whatever. I don't know if she's like, had a little egg in her face because, he done went and married some other. Oh, Mama Carly is almost as old as I am. She 50 something. And had a baby from a girl that's like 25. None of them women, you know. So, anyway. But, he gave Lex a bunch of shows. So I don't know if that he was going to mess with that girl or not. I don't know. I really don't. But then Shador, right? This pisses me off. Shador and his brothers and the children, they're always with their dad. Listen, everyone from me, just, looking at some of the shows that they've had over the years, I don't know who their mama was. Straight up and down, because they always with the daddy and happy to be with them, right? I know until I just, really when I started swelling and all that type of stuff like that, I took my ass up really out the streets. I wasn't going to going like I used to go anyway, right? But when I started swelling stuff like that, I just took all activities pretty much off the table. But when I was going places or whatever, my child was right there. My child was right there. And Jayla said something on her interview. She said she had asked Diamond the body, did she have an intelligent mother, because Diamond the body speaks well. And she said, I can tell because I have an intelligent mother too. Jayla with the college and the whole nine, and she's one of the more well-speaking baddies. I think, isn't Natalie's mom a psychologist or something like that? I know Natalie studied sociology and communication because she was she played soccer, I believe. And for some reason, all them people that play sports either get a degree in communication or what's the second? Hospitality. Always seems that that's the two they they seek a major in, right? But Shador and his family, these people are just torturing him, and they're smiling and praying through it all. And that's what I'm talking about. And that's what I mean when I say, like, good people, right? Now, they could have acted a fool, went off. But if you're a good person, right, you usually, unless it's just the impulse is unwanted, and if you have time to think, you're usually going to do the right thing first. Now, I always say, sometimes good people do bad things for good reasons. But they have been just so positive through this whole damn nightmare. And it's crazy. And I don't like nobody messing with the children. I don't like that. I really don't. But I'm hoping that because I think we got Travis Hunter from Cleveland, but I don't know. I don't know how this thing goes. I hope Cleveland went ahead and got him, planned to cut him, so we can pick him up, and Mr. Shaka Khan can bring him to Jacksonville. I told you I ran his pockets. He got the money. $275 million. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Well, wait a minute. Wait. Mr. Shaka Khan only got 12.6 billion. 200. Well, that's a little something. But we have to project that we're going to make another billion or so within the next year or two from Mr. Shaka Khan. Okay? So if that being the case, 275 million ain't nothing. You know, you know, I really don't know. It is beneficial um, to have parents like the ones they have, eh, that have the whole nine. Are in, well, majority of their parents are intelligent and are just strong believers in God, right? And when you put that God first, everything else will fall in line. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll just keep smiling and praying. You know, that's what I do, right? Even though I've been going off, still gonna smile. I'm still gonna, and I don't say smile. I'm still gonna just be in a good mood. I'm not really a smiley type person, but I'm always in a good mood, even when it seems like I'm not. I can just read. I can read your ass like a book, and it's nothing to me. It doesn't alter how I'm feeling or anything like that, right? I'm not going to when I go off on somebody, whatever. I don't get off live or whatever and just have a shitty day for the next week. No, that's not. You know. And y'all, I can't stress enough that don't let the number, dictate what you do in life. Because, it's something that I'm in a position to do. I definitely can do it. And all of that. And I just kept saying, oh man, I'm too old. And I thought about it. Well, my role, no, I'm not. So no, you thinking, I'm too old to get started with this. No, I'm not. Because my mind is still relatively, how can I say this? My mind is that of a person much younger. It is, it's just that. And I'm like, child. Still got over like 10 years before I can retire. No, it's more than that. Because if they retirement is 67, about 13 years, So, I'm still youthful, So I'm like, I want to have fun. I want to do what I want to do, and I want to spend that leisure time developing. That's what I want to do. And I'm not too old. I'm not. And so, yeah, honey. But, yeah, I found, oh my gosh, I found out so much stuff. But one thing about me, I'm always going to make it my own. I'm always going to improve something. You know, and when I say improve it, I'm not saying that that would actually be the actual outcome. I'm saying I'm going to improve whatever it is, improve it from whatever it is now with my own stamp. You know, so but yeah, y'all. Yeah, you just you're never too old, and it's never too late.